So the more and more I look at the drawer fronts with the hardware holes, they're all uneven. They don't match up. They're crooked. I'm just not liking the way it looks. And if I were to put hardware on, you would notice a huge difference. So what I'm going to do is, before I start priming, I am going to fill these holes with a dowel and then cover it with some Bondo, and then I'll sand it down. So I'm going to show you how I go about adding dowels to a hole, just so it looks a little nicer on the inside of the drawer. It looks a little more finished instead of just having like, I don't know, I just feel like when you add Bondo to the hole inside, because you have all this depth, you would have to sink the Bondo in, which would work fine, but I figured to save a little bit of the product of Bondo, you would only have to do the tops of each side. So I'm gonna go ahead, put the dowel in. I'm going to use this bendable hand saw. You can see how flexible it is. I think it's called like a carpentry saw or a Japanese saw, something, but it's like a little handheld saw, and you're able to get flush, like literally flush to the drawer front. So this is a great tool to have to cut something thin like a dowel. So I'm going to show you how I go about doing that. Okay, so I stuck my dowel in. I believe this is like a 1/4 inch thickness of a dowel. So I just want to take my rubber mallet and just hit it out as much as I can to get flush with the drawer. There we go. That's nice. Okay, and then I am going to take my saw. There's a protective blade that's on it, so I'm just going to remove it. And I am just gently going to saw this dowel. There we go. That's simple. And it's nice and flush. It's a little indented, just a tad, but that's great because I am going to fill that in with Bondo. I'm going to go ahead and do the other two because, again, these are all crooked. I'm going to fill in the rest of them. All right, so the center hole is about a 1/4 inch and the bigger hole is about a 3/8 inch. The dowel that I'm using, I did get a bigger size, but it is a little harder just to push in like my 1/4 inch one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it to about the depth of the drawer front without wasting too much, and just go by eye. Long pullbacks are the best when you're sawing something off. Okay, I'm going to put it in my hole here, and I'm going to tap it in with my rubber mallet. Okay, it went through. And what I'm going to do now, there we go, perfect. This one's sticking up a little bit. Okay, going to do the same with these now. Okay, so I have my Bondo here. I'm going to open it up, and this is a separate hardener. And when you mix the hardener with the Bondo putty in here, it starts to create like a chemical reaction, which it starts to harden. So the more hardener you use, the faster it's going to cure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some out, put some on a paper cardboard right here, add a little bit of hardener to it, mix it up, and then apply it to where I did the dowels, because I wanted to get sunken into all the grooves that the dowel didn't hit, and I want it to be a nice smooth finish after I sand it. So that's what it looks like. And I'm gonna just take, you don't need that much. Okay, I'm gonna try and get all 3, 6, 9, 12, all 12 of them done before this starts to set. So So just take it. It does smell, so definitely be in the nice ventilated area. But this stuff works great. It's paintable, just not stainable. All right, that's all mixed in. So I'm gonna be kind of quick here to get in before it starts to set up. And it's okay if it looks a little messy because your sander will take it off. But really push in all the grooves to make sure your Bondo gets pushed in as much as it can. Get it before it hardens. I think I'm gonna make it in time. Starting to kick over a little bit. You have time to get some of the excess off. It's just less sanding you gotta do. The more you get off, the less sanding you gotta do. Yeah, it's already starting to harden. So I'm gonna leave it alone and I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna do the fronts right here. Everything feels nice and flush now. I started to prep for my primer. I just taped off the top of the buffet that I stained and put 2 coats of polyurethane. You can see that beautiful sheen to it. It's a satin finish and it's very subtle. It's very pretty. So I put some tape underneath. I also put some tape on the sides of the drawers. And that's pretty much it for prepping for primer. So I'm gonna get going on this.